So happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds more like mine. That's
Yeah. A bunch of guys should go and invite.
I get a chance, I will tell you a story about something you did to me.
Well, we want to hear the story.
All right, I'll tell you the story.
That was
You're talking about whitewater paddling on the Cooley River in Ontario. And I paddled with a bunch of guys who we just kind of loved the companionship more than anything else. But I loved paddling more than they did, and I kept getting better. And they kind of stayed the same. But anyway, we went to the Goulet, and Gary and a bunch of guys who paddled all over the country and had much, much more skill than we had showed up at the same time. And we were okay with that. We knew our limits. Well, we're at a place called Apollo Slide, and the water was extraordinarily high. The water was so high you could feel it pulsing in the bank of the river. It was almost at flood stage. And Gary and these other expert paddlers came down the middle of the river to a place none of us would think about going. I guess I should say, at the bottom of Apollo Slide is what's called a hole, and the water crashes into the river and it makes kind of a teacup. And the hole was so big, if you went in there, you were swimming. I didn't want to do that. So I took what's called the cheap route. I went along the edge, and all my other buddies, they all just portaged their boots. And I was feeling really full of myself. You know? I was just all that because I had dared to paddle the edge of the river. Well, Gary and these other guys came right down the middle, heading right for that enormous hole. And there was this wave that looked like the blade of a table saw. And they came down and they hit that, bounced to the right, and went right along the lip of this gigantic hole in the water. And I looked at it and I thought, oh my goodness, because I could see how it was done. And then I felt obliged to try it. So I picked up my boat, pulled it back up the river, and I thought my heart was going to come through right out of my life vest. I mean, I was just so. Anyway, so I paddled it, and I did what they did and did it successfully. But oh my goodness, I was terrified. Thank you for applauding my stupidity. Connie, my wife Connie, raise your hand, Connie. I want you to learn from these people. Applaud my stupidity. Maybe we can get something started. We've been married 53 years, but you're never too old to learn. So, well, welcome to this extraordinary library. Oh my goodness. I was amazed when I came here. I guess was it a year ago or 2 years ago? I did a blues show, and I thought, good heavens. We have a fabulous library in Sheboygan, but it is humble in its look, and this is not humble. It's a blessing for your town. Well, so my name is Dale Rieger. I'm from Sheboygan, former educator. I started as a substitute teacher. And while my wife and I were playing at a bar, playing music, that's how I got my first teaching job. Longer story than we have time for. And I ended as the superintendent in Indian River. I couldn't keep a job, I just had to keep it. And I do want to mention, lest I should forget it, I have a little poster here. For the fourth year in a row, have any of you been to the Opera House in Sheboygan? For the fourth year in a row, I and about a dozen friends, musical friends, are going to put on a program. Each year it has a theme. This year it's One Hit Wonders. And all the money that comes from the show, the musicians all play for free. All the music that comes from the show funds children's programming at the Opera House. And we will raise about $10,000 more if you show up. So I'd invite you to you can take a look at the poster, and you can go to the Opera House, buy tickets online. It's not that far, and it's a fabulous place. We've had wonderful, wonderful musicians playing there, and I'll be playing there too. Well, a song I like to start with just because it's good for my voice, from what I think it was the godfather of soul music. I don't think there'd be a Motown if it weren't for Sam Cooke.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Don't know much about history. Don't know much biology. Don't know much about science book. Don't know much about the French I took. Know that I love you. Oh, if I could be with you, what a wonderful world this would be. Don't know much geometry. Don't know much trigonometry. Don't know much about algebra. What on earth is it tricks for? But I know that one and one is two, and oh my, if I could be with you, what a wonderful world this would be. I don't claim to be an A student, though I'm sure I try to be. Now maybe by being an A student, baby, I could win your love for me. Oh, don't know much sociology, don't know much anthropology, don't know much about no rise and fall. Good Lord, I don't know much about. But I know that one and one and one and one and one is too bad. If I could be with you, what a wonderful world this would be. What a wonderful world this would be, honey. Wonderful, 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 wonderful world. Cupid, draw back your bow and let your hair flow straight to my lover's heart for me. Nobody but me. Cupid, please hear my cry. Won't you let your arrows fly straight to my lover's heart for me? You know when I'm in distress, you got the key to my happiness. Girl I love doesn't know I exist. This you can fix. So, Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow flow straight to my lover's heart for me. Nobody but me. Cupid, please hear my cry. Won't you let your arrows fly straight to my lover's heart for me? Straight to my lover's heart for me. Nobody but me. Welcome, folks just walked in. There's some seats up front. These guys really friendly people up here. They came up and introduced themselves, told me about their kids and their family, offered me some money for gas. So if you want to come up and take a seat, we'll simply make a spot. Tommy Watson, student of mine, long time ago. And he's remarkable in our family because Tommy Watson used to say, "Holy walk." And both our daughters and now my grandchildren have heard whenever something is really special, I will say, "Well, you know what Tommy Watson would say, holy walk." And I had the opportunity, didn't even recognize me, he lost all his hair. And he heard me play, and he came up and told me this next song is his favorite. Well, I'm gonna give you a little history because it makes the song make a bit more sense. It's "Walking in Memphis" by Mark Cohn. And when he talks about, let's see, let me make sure I get everything in here. Oh, Reverend Green, that's the singer Al Green. If you like soul music, which I sure I do. He mentions W.C. Handy. When you look down over me, W.C. Handy was the self-proclaimed king of the blues. Not the blues like B.B. King that we think of, but more like once I lived the life of a millionaire, that kind of blues. And then finally, he's asked if he's a Christian. And he's not, he's Jewish. But it makes the line that comes after it more fun, I think. "Walking in Memphis" by Mark Cohn. Need a little more bass here. No, Allie, I can take care of it here.
Okay.
It's a habit of talking to myself. Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Sat down in the land of the Delta Blues in the middle of the pouring rain. W.C. Handy, won't you look down over me? I got a first class ticket. I'm as blue as a boy can be. I'm walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat. Walking in Memphis, do you really feel the way I feel? Saw the ghost of Elvis on Union Avenue, followed him up to the gates of Graceland, and I watched him walk right through. Now security did not see him, they just huddled around his tomb. There's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle room. I'm walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat. Walking in Memphis, do you really feel the way I feel? They got catfish on the table, they got gospel in the air. Reverend Green is glad to see you. If you haven't got a prayer, you have a prayer. Now Muriel played the piano every Friday at the Hollywood, and they brought me down to see her, and she asked me if I would do a little number, and I'll say with all my might. She said, "Tell me, are you a Christian child?" I said, "Ma'am, I sure am tonight. I'm walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat. Walking in Memphis, Do you really feel the way I feel walking in Memphis? Walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat, walking in Memphis. Do you really feel the way I feel? Do you really feel the way I feel? Do you really feel the way I feel? I'm walking in Memphis. Had an interesting, I don't play a lot of gigs because if I do, I don't feel like I can summon the same kind of spirit that I can by playing too often. And I want it to be exciting for me, and hopefully that'll come across to you. But this summer I had a really unusual gig at 7 o'clock in the morning at the mouth of the Sheboygan River in heavy fog. I played for a wedding. And this is one of the songs I did. By the way, James Taylor and Marvin Gaye. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Well, I needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs. Lord, there you were. Sweet love and devotion, touching my emotion. I wanna stop. Thank you, baby. I just wanna stop. Thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I realized I forgot to say something that's very important to me. I want to point out that on their deathbed, virtually never has anyone said, gosh, I wish I hadn't sung so much. So it's almost dark enough that no one here will be able to recognize that the notes coming from your throat actually come from you. So at any time, if you want to sing along, I would be delighted. Close my eyes at night, wondering where would I be without you in my life. Every day was such a bore. Seemed like everything I'd done seems like I'd done it before. But you brighten up for me all of my days, yes you did. Oh baby, in so many ways I wanna stop. Thank you, baby, I just wanna stop. Thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Think of somebody you love. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Well, you were better to me than I was to myself. For me, there's you, honey, and nobody else. I wanna stop. Thank you, baby. I just wanna stop. Thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, oh, oh. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is to be loved by you. To be loved by you, baby. To be loved by you. I noticed that not everyone here is a kid. the extraordinary power that seeing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan show had for me is just hard to express. So like millions of other teenage guys, I got a guitar as quickly as possible. And most of the guys I played with at the beginning, they did just, maybe they pick it up and strum a little bit, but it's remained a wonderful friend for me for all these years. My wife and I went to Let It Be when it was in the theaters. And it was kind of hard to watch because I was such a big Beatles fan, and to see them so disgruntled and kind of snarky with one another, it was hard to see that. But then more recently, there's a 6-hour documentary called Get Back, which takes you through that whole process of them recording that album, plus a lot of other songs that ended up on other albums. And it's fun to watch because John Lennon shows up. He doesn't want to be there. He's past all that. And Paul is the taskmaster. He's trying to make everybody work really hard, and he's a little type A. Actually, Paul is probably at type AAA. And everybody's trying to just get out of there. But over time, you can see that John is reminded to the fact that he loves those guys. And it's really, really sweet, to see it happen through this documentary. Till at the end, they're actually having fun together again. This song plays a big role in that. I don't know if you remember this from I know a bazillion Beatles tunes, but I'm going to do this one because it's from that film, and it reminds me of the good feelings of that story. Nobody ever loved me like she does, like she does, like she does. And if somebody ever loved me like she does me, like she does me, oh, like she does. Don't let me down, don't let me down, don't let me down, don't let me down. And from the first time that she really done me, oh, she done me, oh, she done me good. I guess nobody ever really done me. Nobody done me, she done me good. Don't let me down, don't let me down, don't let me down, don't let me down. I'm in love for the first time, and I know it's gonna last. It's love that lasts forever. It's love that has no past. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. No, 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 no. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. There's a band with a real future. 3 years ago, the Beatles were the #1 selling band in the world. So, amazing, amazing. Well, I should probably say, just talk among yourselves while I retune my guitar. I'm going to play something. Now, the story of the blues is one that you should all be thankful for in part because of blues, we have rock and roll. In jazz, we have bluegrass. Blues forms went up the East Coast, ran into the Irish music, and bluegrass as a result. Anyway, so we have, fabulous cultural achievements came from a lot of darkness, frankly. Well, and since you're a captive audience, I'll tell you a story. Just going to do a song by Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson is the first superstar of blues music. Crossroads by The Cream. Yeah. Let's see what else. Sweet Home Chicago by the Blues Brothers. And this song, Love in Vain, which the Rolling Stones did. All came from a recording in 1937 from Robert Johnson. And Robert Johnson's a cool guy and interesting, I should say, because he's the guy about the legend that he went to the crossroads and sold his soul to the devil. And in return, he went from a not very good guitarist to a guitar player that amazed all his contemporaries. Well, a lot of historical research says that what happened is he went to a man who really knew how to play guitar, and he practiced hard. It's only what practice will do for you. But at any rate, as that music was developing, and we don't know, for about 300 years, we know virtually nothing about the music and how it moved this way or that way. Did people from Angola give it this touch, and did folks from another part of Africa move it in this direction? I just think it's so fascinating. We could know all those things. But one thing that happened is that somebody realized that if you tune your guitar to a chord, it's a lot easier to play, especially if you only play one chord. And then along came an idea of the bottleneck guitar. This is a commercial bottleneck. It's called a slide. But originally they were just somebody break off a whiskey bottle neck or a wine bottle neck, and then they do this. So I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. And so this is a mongrelized version of both what Robert Johnson did and what the Rolling Stones did. Well, I followed her to the station. Suitcase in my hand. Well, I followed her to the station. The suitcase in my hand. Hard to tell. All your love's in vain. All your love's in vain. The train rolled up to the station. I looked her in the eye. When the train rolled down the station, looked her in the eye. like to sail when all your love's in pain. Train rolled into the station. The two lights on behind. When the train rolled into the station, two lights on behind. It's hard to tell, it's hard to tell. When all your love's in pain. It's hard to tell, it's hard to tell. When all your love's in pain. It's hard to tell, hard to tell. When all your love's in pain. My wife and I have until just recently, upon retirement, we go to Florida. Anybody been to Fort Myers? Okay. Fort Myers is on the Gulf side of Florida, and there are a whole string of barrier islands outside of it. And most of them are very, very, very high rent places on those islands, at Sanibel and Captiva. But there's an island in that string which has no road to it, no bridge to it, no electricity to it, but has a state park. So it's, camping, and we go there, and we, I think we started in 2006 until just a couple of years ago when the hurricane has wrecked all the infrastructure in the park. It's being rebuilt. And we would cut invasive exotic trees to try to keep it looking as much like old Florida as possible. So we'd live in a tent for about 3 months. And, great time, fabulous time. Well, as there are about 32 campsites on there, and on 2 nights a week, I'd get people together and no PA because there's no electricity. You have a PA there, and I would entertain, do an hour-long set for people. And because we're really on the outside of Florida, I ended up writing this song. And it comes from being on that island, Cayo Costa, it's, if you want to look it up, you can find out some more. Cayo Costa. And then having seen all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, that's the other thing that contributed to this. Now you have, when you didn't buy your ticket tonight, because there's no such thing, I won't say you have an obligation to sing along. I'll just say it's an obligation if you want to have fun. So your part is, we'd all like to be pirates. And it goes like, your part is, we'd all like to be pirates. Try that with me. We'd all like to be pirates. Oh, I was told by the people in Charlotte I could really sing. So I know thank you for not letting anyone down. Just talk among yourselves while I finish this. Anybody have any music anecdotes? Any amusing anecdotes they'd like to tell? All right, here we go. Once buccaneers ruled these waters, from Key West to Tampa Bay. They sailed when they wished and did not punch a clock. We envy them to this day. Oh, I'd love to have my own cutlass, an eye patch I don't really need. Those cool striped shirts and bandanas make girls hate their indeed. Here we go. Oh, we don't like to be pirates. There you go. Without the scurvy or lice. We don't like to be pirates. Kind that are funny and nice. Well, I'd love to bury some treasure. I'd love to make treasure maps. And it would be fun to hide from the Navy and deftly avoid all their traps. Sure, living with rats was unpleasant. Keel hauling wasn't much fun. Think of sailing those tall ships in warmth with Florida sun. Oh, we don't like to be pirates, but without scurvy or lies. We don't like to be pirates, the kind that are funny and nice. Yeah, no text of sung the song. I think it's better if I remember the lyrics. Easier for you to follow along. Oh, humor me. Oh, we don't like to be pirates with rum that's been kept cold on ice. We don't like to be pirates, the kind that sing and are nice. Oh, we don't like to be pirates, bury our own treasure chests. We don't like to be pirates and be cool, just like Johnny Depp. One downside of doing retuning with it in order to do the slide guitar is that the guitar doesn't like it very much. Well, if I may, because I'm an ex-teacher and we can't stop ourselves, I'm going to tell you the story. It goes back to that Robert Johnson piece I played. We were following what's called the Blues Highway, and it's through the Delta region of Mississippi, where Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, an endless list of blues greats grew up in that area, and we were kind of following some of the history about Robert Johnson. And there's a place called Greenwood, Mississippi, town, really not much bigger than Charlottesville or Shipwagon, but probably 75–80% black. And we got there on election day, and it was curious because things are different in Mississippi because it's kind of a different country. And the downtown, everyone was down there, and the fire engines were down with their lights on, and we couldn't find anyone who could give us any instructions on where to find what is said to be the burial site of Robert Johnson and the place where he was killed. He was supposedly poisoned because he was messing around with somebody's wife at this blues joint, a juke joint they're called. So we saw 3 black men by a fire engine, 2 of whom were so buffed and big They looked like they shouldn't be allowed to play NFL football. And went up to them and said, we're looking for the place where Robert Johnson died. And we don't know how to find it. And the captain of this crew said, well, we're through with our shift, but we'll take you there. And, it's a little out of our way. So they took us to a place called Baptist Town on the outskirts. And there was a plywood sign that had some information about Robert Johnson, but the man who they were going to take us to give us a tour wasn't available. So we chatted for a while and talked, and they finally said, well, so are you done? Yeah, okay, we're going to go then. So they headed off in one direction, and we were supposed to go the other. Well, I thought, we'll just go around the block, and as soon as we did, you just dropped into knee-breaking poverty. And these black faces are astonished to see white people there in their neighborhood, just really the porches are all ready to fall off. And we went around the block, got back to our street, and then I saw that there was a washateria. How many of you have been to a washateria? I hadn't. So stopped in, and that was their name for a laundromat. We went in, and this just didn't take too long to find out what it was. We were heading out, and this black woman came up, started talking with us. And then we noticed all the way down at the other end of the street that fire engine was just parked. And while we're talking, they turned around, came back to us. This enormous arm, they flipped on the lights. This enormous arm came out of the window and did this. And so we followed him, a few miles back to downtown where we'd started. And the big man who was driving came out of the truck, walked up to us and said to me, sir, no matter where you are, there's some bad people. I said, but in Baptist Town, there are a lot of bad people. And then we realized these three men who we did not know had been babysitting us after hours when they had no reason to other than the goodness of their hearts. And it's, for my money, one of the best experiences I've ever had, to be treated like that by people who had no reason to, other than goodness.
Yeah.
Motown folks, anybody?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
People say I'm the life of the party, 'cause I tell a joke or two. Well, I might be laughing loud and hearty, but deep inside I'm blue. So take a good look at my face. See my smile looks out of place. You see closer, it's easy to trace the tracks of my tears. Need you, need you. If you see me and I'm talking with another girl, looking like I'm having big fun. Well, she might be cute, she's no substitute, 'cause you're the permanent one. So take a good look at my face. You see my smile looks out of place. If you look closer, it's easy to trace tracks of my tears. Whoa, 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 outside I'm masquerading. Inside my heart's a fading. Inside, oh baby, since you put me down, the smile is my makeup. Now where since my breakup with you? Baby, take a good look at my face. You see my smile looks out closer, it's easy to trace tracks of my tears. Baby, 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 take a good look at my face. You see my smile looks out of place. Look closer, it's easy to trace the tracks of my tears. Oh, the tracks of my tears. Let's see. I have a special treat for you. Allie and Bradford, you folks ready? Happen to know, to Sheboygan's great loss, Allie, who used to live in Sheboygan, I kind of saw her when she was getting started. Was right away a really good singer, but oh my goodness, she's not going to get a chance to show off her chops entirely here with this song. But oh wow, what a style she has developed. Well, I asked her if they would join me on a couple of songs just for the treat for me, and it'll be a treat for you too. This first song is called "Jesus is on the Main Line." Tell him what you want. Okay. It's by Rieger, if you happen to know that name. And it's, a fairly recent song, but it's really based on the musical form of the early Black churches. Because, frankly, they didn't have any hymnals. There's no book to sing out of. If they had one, there's a good chance most of the people in the congregation couldn't read anyway. So they developed something called call and response, where I sing a line and you sing it back to me. And this Jesus on the Main Line is like that. I should also mention, because I always do, that I've noticed that when I do the song Folsom Prison Blues, many people who have never killed anyone in Reno just to watch them die sing along. So on a song like this that has some religious overtones, you might be a person of faith, you might have no faith at all. But again, if you think it's okay to sing along on Folsom Prison, you should be okay to sing along on this. Jesus is on the main line, you got to tell him what you want. Jesus is on the main line, you got to tell him what you want. Jesus is on the main line, you got to tell him what you want. You got to call him up and tell him what you want. Join me. Jesus is on the main line, you got to tell him what you want. Jesus is on the main line, you got to tell him what you want. Jesus is on the main line, you got to tell him what you want. Gotta call him up and tell him what you want. If you got a problem, you got to tell him what you want. If you got a problem, just tell him what you want. Oh, if you got a problem, you just tell him what you want. Just call him up and tell him what you want. Well, his line ain't ever busy. Just tell him what you want. His line ain't ever busy. Tell him what you want. His line ain't ever busy. Just tell him what you want. Got to call him up and tell him what you want. If you broke, he'll fix you. You got to tell him what you want. If you're broke, he will fix you. Got to tell him what you want. Lord, if you're broke, he'll fix you. You got to tell him what you want. You got to call him up and tell him what you want. Oh, Jesus is on the main line. You got to tell him what you want. Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you want. Oh, Jesus is on the main line. You got to tell him what you want. You got to call him up and tell him what you want. You got to call him up and tell him what you want. Yes, you do. Call him up and tell him what you want. Oh, yeah.
You guys sound great up
They do.
here. They sound great up here.
People weren't exaggerating to talk about the Charlotte Boy Suckers. Oh, where are you two think you're going?
I mean,
yeah.
you're not done. You're not
It
done.
might be that they didn't remember we're doing the next song because I just hit them with it about 15 minutes before the show started.
So everybody should sing along. This is our second time.
This is a song by one of the superstars of Chicago blues. Muddy Waters. Which is normally played kind of a shuffle beat. I'm gonna make it a little funkier than that, with your permission. I got my mojo working, but it just don't work on you. Say the truth. I got my mojo working, but it just don't work on you. I'm going down to Louisiana just to see what I can do. I'm gonna call that witchy woman, gonna get me a mojo hang. I'm gonna call that witchy woman, gonna get me a mojo hang. I hope all those pretty women gonna be in my company. Call response. I got my mojo working. Got my mojo working. Got my mojo working. I got my mojo working. Got my mojo working. But it just don't work on me. I'm gonna call that witchy woman, gonna give me a mojo, hey. Gonna call that witchy woman, gonna give me a mojo, hey. And all those pretty women gonna be in my company. I got my mojo working. I got my mojo working. Got my mojo working. Got my mojo working. Got my mojo working, but it just don't work on me. Well, I've been bragging you up with some great singers, Mark. We're gonna put some pressure on you now. Make things a little more difficult. Ready, Alan?
Yeah, let's do it.
You gotta sing along. You gotta do your best. I got my mojo working.
Got my mojo working.
Got my working.
Got my
Working. Got my working.
Got my working.
Got my mojo waking.
Got my mojo working.
Got my mojo working, but it just don't work on you. Well, Allie, how long are these folks expecting to be trapped here?
The library closes at 8 p.m. So that's
So
about the limit.
we've got to wander through what I intended to play and be a little more selective. All right, I want to talk a little bit about, anybody here write in any form, prose, poetry, songs? Okay, great.
Checks.
Which is, and there are all kinds of ways to be creative. I've told folks sort of the more churchy friends of mine over the years that the beginning of the book of Genesis, which is extraordinarily beautiful, I think, but one of the things that gets short shrift is that when it says, and God made such and saw that it was good. I don't think that's just talking about what was made. I think it's talking about the making as well. I think we're often better in our hearts when we're creating. So this song, I do not understand how it came into being. I know what my intention was. I had two grandfathers, both of whom were lumberjacks in their youth. I'm kind of following their ways as much as I can. I still cut all our firewood and I split it by hand. I think of those two men when I do it. But one grandfather was a fiddler and I look like him. Everybody says I act like him, but he died when I was really young. My other grandfather, who was this bear of a man, oh my goodness. And I learned a great deal about bigotry from him. In that we'd watch a Tiger game and everybody who got the bat when they came up to bat, if they did poorly, it was because of their ethnic background. And it was amazing to me. And we just didn't quite understand one another. So I thought, I'm going to write a song about him, Ed Erkfitz. But it's pretty hard to rhyme with Erkfitz. So I decided to change his name to Ed Sloan. And I started out, the song was going to go in this direction. And then as you'll hear, it went in this direction instead. Which I think is one of the blessings of doing this thing, and doing something creative, when you get to go someplace you had no idea you'd ever visit. I will mention, everyone know what probably not, I'm asking a rhetorical question. A cant hook is something the lumberjacks used that had a big hook on a handle and you pound it into a log, and then using the lever, you can turn the log over, okay? It's worth knowing for the sake of this song. Big Ed's alone was a legend. Wouldn't touch a cant hook or a saw. Then he swung his 12-pound axe. The wood shook and men watched in awe. Many evenings after supper, the crew settling in for the night. Big Ed would challenge any man who dared to step outside. fight. One time a hot-tempered Canuck said he'd never heard such bullshit in his life. Big Ed grabbed the man, broke him in his hands, like timber crashing through thin ice. Some men cutting for the timber, some men cutting for the cash. Big Ed liked to just watch him fall. We love to hear him crash. I don't think anybody knew him except for Shorty McGee. Saw something in Big Ed's alone the rest of us would never see. They were caught playing hooch, drinking buddies together all the time. Shorty one day collected his pay and moved on down the line. We found Big Ed in the timber, noose pulled taut around his throat, and in his hand, crushed like lead had been, was Big Ed's suicide note. It said, "The only one I've ever loved left this camp today. Promised Shorty I'd not follow, but I did not say I'd stay." You see, some men come for the timber, some men just cutting for the cash. Big Ed liked to watch him fall, and he loved to hear him crash, to hear them crash.
Oh my
And when those words came out of whatever part of my brain those were created, I went, "Oh my goodness, what on earth happened?" Well, my sister, I played that song for her. My sister's very, very conservative, evangelical. And her response was, "Grandpa was gay?" No, it's just a song. I'll do a couple more songs for you. Well, Allie Bradford alluded to it, but you've been a wonderful audience. So lest I should fail to tell you that. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure playing for you. Here's a stanza with I think maybe the most beautiful, to me, heartbreaking kind of, in a good way, chorus or stanza ever. Connie, I keep referring to her. We were 15 and 17 on our first date. I remember where I was standing when I saw her for the first time. So the first time I tried to play this in public, it was shortly after COVID, and I kind of fell apart and the emotional stanza, and people came to me, "Connie's dead? Oh no." phone's off the hook. No one knows where we are. It's been a long time since we drank champagne. The ocean's as blue as the blue in your eyes. I'm gonna miss you this when I go. Oh, long since gone. Time way back when we lived on Coney Island. There ain't no good thing ever truly dies. I'm gonna miss you that with me when I go. Far, far away, a train whistle blows. Wherever you're going, wherever you've been, waving goodbye at the end of the day. Up and you're over and so far away. Always for you, forever yours. It felt just like the old days. We fell asleep on Beulah's porch. I'm gonna take that with me when I go. All broken down on the side of the road. Never felt more alive or alone. I wore the faces of all the cards. I'm gonna take that with me when I go. Children are playing at the end of the day. Strangers are singing on our lawn. It's got to be more than flesh and bones. Whatever you want, whatever you love, you're all you want. In the land there's a town, and in that town there's a house, and in that house there's a woman. And in that woman is a heart I love. I'm gonna take that with me when I go. And in that woman is a heart I love. I'm gonna take that with me when I go. The Bad Leroy Brown has the chords that make no sense with the lyrics to me. I mean, it's a song about a knife fight on the south side of Chicago. I mean, it's a classic blues tune, but the chords sound like it could be this. Yes. I like golden retrievers, and I like chocolate chip cookies. I mean, that's always the chords. I didn't get it, so I decided to redo it. South side of Chicago, there's a baddest part of town. If you go down there, you better just be aware of a man named Leroy Brown. Leroy's always in trouble. Well, he stands about 6'4". All the downtown ladies call him treetop lover. The man just call him sir, that's for sure. And he's bad, bad. Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole damn town. Better than OK Kong. He's meaner than a junkyard dog. Leroy, 22. He got a 32 gun in his pocket for fun. He got a razor in his shoe. To do and he's bad, 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 bad. Hero Brown, baddest man in the whole damn town. He's better than old King Kong. Lord is meaner than a junkyard dog. Friday, while we go, rolling, shooting dice at the edge of the bars and curling doors. Ooh, that girl looked nice. Well, he cast his eyes upon us. That's when the trouble it began. Leroy Brown learned a lesson about messing with the wife of a jealous man. Oh, and he's bad, 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 bad. Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole damn town. He's better than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog. Well, the two men took to fight. They pulled him from the floor. Leroy looked like a jigsaw puzzle with a couple of pieces gone. Well, he's bad, bad. Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole damn town. Better than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog. Come on, let's hear ya. Well, he's bad, 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 bad. Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole damn town. He's better than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard, meaner than a junkyard, meaner than a junkyard dog. Thank you so much for the good work. Some more. I'll be joined by, I think there are 8 different vocalists, 12 musicians, and it'll be, well, it's, where else can you expect to hear but one-hit wonders, Tiptoe Through the Tulips. I mean, it couldn't be a more diverse bunch of songs. So if you'd like to see a really cool old opera house, if you'd like to support child education, music education for children, then come to the Sheboygan Opera House on Friday, the 17th. And it's right up here if you'd like to take a look. Okay. Thank you again.
Sailing tonight? That ought to be that could be exciting tonight.
That was fun.
You're gonna need it all.
Oh, hi, Frank. Good to see you. Happy New Year. As well. Hi, Frank. We're all here. How are you guys? We try to just we think
Really great story. But every Sunday. Just walk on the water.
See you again.
Come on a Sunday and walk right over. So we're doing this every Sunday from 3 to 5. And there'll be some posters in there, so if you stop in, get a reminder, you can snap a picture.
You have two 15-year-old kids, girls. joining us.
I say, like, it's an identity generation tool. I tinker with it.
I just got one, so Jenny's over here or something.
I was
saw you at the coffee shop. Bill Harris.
I heard of it, but I haven't actually tinkered with it.
I'm surprised at some of the AI you can do in Facebook. Because I can do
Yeah.
when you're, you know, available print stuff and hard. And I was astounded
Yes.
by what it created. Because it was like dead on. Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yes.
After, I can't imagine.
And then you can say,
Those three books are still going.
grading right now. Versus the house. Of course, now people want to pay right? I never did that, but I hear stories about it all.
I almost lost it.
I did actually hear an interesting example of what wasn't Midjourney, it was that one that was text based. Somebody had the Trump plan.
Just in the space, I'll put out a
Very
copy.
specific food meals that would tell us to plan an entire menu for an entire month. And then break down the ingredients and buy the aisle at Trader Joe's and have them plan a shopping trip for it.
Hi. Be useful.
Yeah. I mean, just now that you said that,
Right.
it's like, because that's all everything in analytics and their sections.
It's not limiting.
We'll see you again. Sunday.
Well, I'm a bit. I was actually seeing that again. There was a defensive back.
The only reason I asked
Yeah.
I have, and I use that.
So,
Oh, right, yeah.
Polycarb?
for me, it really is a travel guitar.
But if you had used chemicals to remove
What I'm looking at is
all those laminated.
a level of
graphics normally were the
I just want to make sure that it's about the same. Well, yeah, because
I would have to
guitar's
call it.
over
It's
humidified.
like mostly about like the colors, right?
Now, the intonation and everything's fine, and our house is dry, but I'm. I've got a, It's generally, a lot of people. But I just didn't remember also that.
I was just wondering, even like the paint type of system where you slide a picture into it, like a drawing table kind of something like that. Because then it would have texture.
Yeah, that's a really good part.
Here's in Scott, scrap. It's white.
You'll have the front yard will just like it's
Right.
Yeah, mine, so I
put the knob on. My wife just wiped it
stand,
off.
but I've got a bit of fire on it.
I'll say grab a piece of white, see if it's
Still.
Yeah, it's good also.
I don't have to.
This would just tell you.
Where I can feel guitar room where I've got 50% humidity and 70 degrees. Yeah. So, anyway, I wanted to check with you.
Anyway,
Yeah.
she names
Yeah,
with.
nice to see you as well.
That's what I learned. So the guy.
Thinking about going up to UP just to Tijuana, so my first point sometimes. Yeah, you know, we were there in 2020 with the club, first trip I was there. And you could walk out on
And
the
as I always tell the crowd, you give you a good deal too. So, it was.
Yeah, I don't know about it. And I don't know if it's been cold enough long enough to
Slide off.
dive.
So that was the guitar I learned on, and
Snow
I played double
sleds.
and I would go to
Doing a
sessions.
pre-dawn.
But I
It's
yet
cold
to
enough for
know.
that.
Here's the
I
thing
hear there
don't-
are some ice
Rhythm.
caves, you know, that in England on.
But I can sing and accompany myself on the guitar. And I did a good enough job of that. That people don't really realize it.
I think I need to get on.
So that's. But I have the tools to keep practice. Yeah,
That's where I do.
you know, and so.
Very good. So you're going.
I hosted an open mic in Minneapolis.
We're gonna go buy ice cream.
Very well received.
You're gonna visit, oh, you're going.
That's what I want to.
Okay.
Smoke on the water.
Good concert. Nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you. Which direction? Right on Park Avenue is across the bridge. That's a compliment. That's great. Restaurant here. Good to see you.
Sure.
Sir?
You know, I have a new.
Oh, he was waiting to say something.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just saw the Colorado.
Somebody saw it, even like our roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot, but anyway, we have an acoustic jam session. Find yourself in town.
And we're gonna head out.
Yeah, no,
I'll say traditional.
something new.
I would request further that we should do it. It's hard to.
No, it's a jam for anything.
It's hard for me to stay on it. My love is so weird than over there.
Whoever shows up, when it's your turn, when it's your turn. Here's an old Carter family tonight. Or. So that's all it is. It's literally a jam session.